Do you feel a crash out coming, or does it just happen on just spur of the moment? Like, do you feel it boiling up and you try
Next
to...
question.
No.
You invoking
No,
it,
do I feel
conjuring
it?
it.
Do I feel it boiling up? Nah, I don't be feeling when it boil up. Oh, I never know. It just be happening out of nowhere.
I'm Holdin Court, you standing trial. Why ain't I see you around back when I was
What's up,
down?
world? It's your boy, Big Court of the Holdin Court Podcast, and I'm also the founder of the OG Network, along with co-founder Ice-T, and we here one more again. What's cracking with y'all? What's up, daughter?
What's up, y'all? It's Rachel Renee, and I am the VP of Operations and Culture at OG Network. Let's go. We're going to have a good time today.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time. We're gonna do a little bit of crashing out. We're going to change up the format because we have the self-proclaimed king of crash out here for a second. So y'all know.
Yo, this your boy Donnell. I don't represent.
See,
I know. I'm just
he's
saying
doing it already.
because you started it.
He's doing it already.
You started it. That was so dirty, man. That was so dirty. You didn't even let me build up like the king of crash out. So what you mean by crashing out? Just because I'm opinionated, I want to say what I want, and I'm representing. What is the OG Network?
OG Network.
And what's the name of the what's the podcast?
Holdin Court Podcast.
Holdin Court.
Now, how
Donnell
you not going to know the podcast that you came
Holdin
to?
Court, but not in court. And I know some white people like, finally, thank God.
Yeah, but you see, we got the homie here, man.
Yes.
So what's good with you, brother? We appreciate you coming.
Nothing much. Same thing, different days. Trying to keep these haters out of my face. Trying not to be disturbed by them. But for some reason, and I know this, you shouldn't start an interview like this. Man, I just be wanting to smack the shit out of niggas sometimes. Can I say that on this network?
You can. You say whatever you want.
And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I feel comfortable saying that because I spoke to my therapist the other day, right? And I was just I just called him and said, in a very subtle way, I said, "Fuck is wrong with all these people trying to fuck with me? When all I'm trying to do is be happy and bring happiness to people's life." And I'm like, and this is what people tell you when you crashing out or you have an issue with people. This is what people always tell you. This is what I always hear. You know what? Take the high road. You know what I mean? Those people don't count. They're not relevant. They got 50 followers. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't waste your time. But I like the low road sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't
It's gratifying
understand.
sometimes.
It feels
Yeah.
good. And this
Yeah.
what, and it's not anybody particularly I'm talking about. And it's probably 8 people that could probably say he's talking about me. And y'all decide on who it is. But it's like when you get upset with people about certain things and when you want to respond or you want to retaliate, it's not you wanting to just retaliate against that person. You want to retaliate against the energy and what they're putting out there.
Absolutely. The
You know what I'm
narrative.
saying? Whether that person has 50
Of course.
people follow them or a million,
Of course.
you are putting a certain false narrative or whatever into the universe, and that's what I want to
You
talk.
attacking the spirit.
I'm with you 100%.
But that's what he said, and I
Yeah.
didn't thought he was gonna be like, "No, Donnell, you bigger than that." He said, "Donnell, you have the right. If somebody disrespects you on a public platform, whatever, you have a right to address them on that same
For sure.
platform." But he said, whatever you do, he said, I can't tell you what to do. He said, whatever you do, just be your true, authentic self. And I understood what he meant by that because I remember some years ago, I had a beef or a misunderstanding with this rapper, right? I won't say his name. That's why I get in trouble when I be, and I made a video. And as soon as they said, "All right, Donnell, go," the first thing I was like this, "Fuck you, keep my name out your mouth, blah, blah, blah." I went crazy. And I realized that's not who I really was. You know, me responding like that didn't really make sense. Then as I got older, I was like, you know what? A lot of times if you respond to somebody, just respond to them with facts and how you feel about a certain thing.
Yes.
And that answers all your questions.
No, that's a fact. And you know what I dislike? I dislike the fact that because people, rather real or imagine they perceive you as successful, right? For some, reason or another, they think that removes you. You're supposed to let everything go. You're not human still. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you got money. Oh, you come. They ain't nobody ignore them. It's like, man, I'm still human. I can still author my own narrative.
Yes.
And I'm like you, where you show off is where I'm going to go off. So,
But a lot of times I realize your success and the positive things you're doing are a reflection of their negativity and the things that they're not doing.
Right, of course.
I spent a lot of time when I first started. I started in D.C. and I moved to Brooklyn, and I was living in all different areas of Brooklyn. And one particular neighborhood it was Brownsville. And after I left there, I moved to California. I had went to go visit, and I was in Brownsville. No, what Summers, Mother Gaskin, and Rockaway, whatever it was. And this dude was like, yeah, D, don't forget where you came from. I'm like, I'm talking to you from where I came from.
Right.
If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, go download the OG Network on Roku, Google Play, Fire TV, Apple TV, and the App Store. Go register your email at theognetwork.net. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Salute.
But those type of people, there's nothing you ever going to be able to do to sway their opinion of you. And sometimes you gotta
you have to be okay with that.
Sometimes you gotta crash out.
You gotta be okay with it though, because when you put yourself in a public forum, you set yourself up to be both praised and ridiculed. You gotta be okay with it.
I don't want to ridicule,
but that comes with it.
I'll just take the praise.
But you know, you have to be rooted in who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because and especially with this social media age, we're old enough to remember where you didn't get it like that. No, I'm saying,
why you just make us a we? On the old part.
Because it's y'all.
Because we
it's
old.
Not me.
And then you gonna back it up.
We old.
He talk about y'all.
I'm 50.
You see
50
the t-shirt.
You 50 plus. I'm 50. You know what I'm saying?
Have the plus. Won't let people just.
You on the wrong side of 50. I'm almost 50. I'll be 50 this year.
I got to call my publicist because she told me.
She said this is a nice platform.
She said this is not going to be like that. They're going to ask you engaging questions. They're going to get to know you. They don't play that. They want to keep you. And then the first thing you say is King of Crash Out. Chanel, you set me up.
You said that.
And they told me Ice-T was going to be here, man. This podcast.
That's what they
told me, son. That's what they told me, son.
They didn't tell
you that. They said he was going to be here.
They set you up if they told you that. Because I didn't tell them that.
They said he was going to be here. I was going to get an All-State commercial. One of them, they said I was going to be on respective whatever unit and all that type of stuff. But I'm here. I'm just blessed.
But no. I'm with you on that. But I want to go back into your history a little bit. So we were talking before the camera, DC, Alexandria, Virginia.
Yeah.
But my first time seeing you was Def Comedy Jam.
Right.
You know, so what was that experience back then? Because, I mean, that was like when black comedy really hit a shift where it became cool and the culture. Because before that, it seemed like...
I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's your question?
How many ways are you going to tell people I'm over 50? That was so subtle. Yeah, I saw.
Why are you so sensitive?
No, because I am.
Your age?
I didn't dye my beard. But listen, let me
say, you came in here with a 80% gray beard.
No, but that's it. Because I'm defying ageism. I'm like, it's okay to do this. But it's so funny because when you hear Def Jam, that's like saying, I remember, and I've done so much since Def Jam, but it was maybe a couple weeks ago, and this guy introduced me. He said, you seen him on Def Jam. I was like, tell him he's over 50 without saying he's over 50. That's how long ago it was. But I really, for me, that was a very interesting time in my life because when I was chosen or selected or whatever you want to say to be on Def Jam, I was only doing comedy for like 6 months. I came out of the gate in DC like just smoking. And I'm not saying this to be a braggart or anything, but anybody that knows my history in DC, they will tell you like when I was doing it for 6 months, people thought I was doing it for 3 years. It was just definitely something that was supposed to happen for me. But when I did Def Jam, that show was so great and such a great platform to see unseen talent, to see talent that was out there that just didn't have a platform. Because as even with Def Jam, you had the young guns, the people had just started, and then you had the people like Bernie Mac. You know what I'm saying?
Oh fuck, crazy on my own shit.
No, but here go the thing. Here go the thing. Then they wonder why I crash out. You know what I'm saying? I put my phone, I turned my phone completely
That's
off.
the first time
but not only that,
ever happened.
Wait a minute, but not only that, you're engaging in the conversation right now. You ain't just put it away.
And it's my father. He don't want shit.
No, you
That's
gotta
the
take
thing
that
about it.
No, but you got to take that call.
No, I don't.
Oh, I
don't have to take that call.
But like I was saying what I was saying about the Def Jam situation, I was only doing comedy for 6 months. And when I did it, I thought I had a decent set. I didn't have what people on that show, they were having like, you have 8 to 10 minutes worth of airtime. And your set could be okay as long as like the end of it, you crashed it in an ovation. When I did it, I did this joke, one of my first jokes, I did this joke about how this fat kid bully in my neighborhood took my bike after my mother said, the last thing you do, don't let nobody ride your bike. Of course, I let him ride my bike. I never saw it again. I had a skit about that. I mean, a joke about it. And when I did the show, I was a little disappointed because I was like, oh man, it wasn't no standing ovation. But one of my friends, Chris Thomas, a legend out of DC, he was like, yo, that was a great set. I was like, whatever. And he said, you got people, they have sets that rip in the room. People going crazy. It doesn't translate to the home audience. And he was like, he said, you might not have felt it actually in the theater, but when people watch it at home, they're going to follow the story. And it was an evergreen story. So that was like, for me, that was the first big thing that I ever did, you know? And
what's up, world? It's your boy, Big Court of the Holdin Court Podcast, and I am the founder of the OG Network. Now, I'm going to keep it real for a second. For a long time, I was moving wrong with the beard. Now, I waited till after I was 40 years old to grow the beard, but I was using the same harsh bar soap on my face just because it was easy. And man, I paid for it. It was dry, it was itchy and patchy. But once I found something that spoke to my specific needs, it was a game changer. That's why I'm rocking with Bask Lather. The difference using their beard growth magic oil is night and day. It's a natural blend that gets the blood flowing to the follicles and kills all that dandruff for good. Now, I've been leaning on the men's healthy hair and beard starter kit. It's the full setup with the shampoo, the balm, and stimulator. My beard is healthier, softer, and stronger. Now you see it. I'm luxurious now. I'm in the game. You see it. Now, what I love most is that they're Black owned and family operated. CEO Shayna and her mom started this because a dermatologist said their sister's hair would never grow back. Now, they did their research, made their own oils, and now the sister's hair is down to her hips. You can't argue with those results. Just look at the before and after shots on their site. Now it's time to stop guessing, start growing. Explore viral bestsellers and products of healthier hair of all types from Bask Lather. Go to baskandlatherco.com and use code BIGCOURT for 20% off. That's 20% off at baskandlatherco.com. Code BIGCOURT, BIGCOURT. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Salute.
Even the way I got it was crazy because I knew some of the Def Jam alumni that performed it, like Bill Bellamy, Bernie Mac, and these guys, because they would come to this comedy club in DC, and I would open for them. One of my good friends, Royale Watkins, out of DC.
No, Royale.
Yeah, Royale was like, he was already in the system and whatever. He was represented by Rush Communication, Bob Sumner, that whole thing. And I would produce shows in DC, and I said I wanted him to. I said, I want you to come and do one of these shows with me. And he gave me his business card, like, talk to your people. And I'm like, I thought I was your people, right? The card was for Bob Sumner. And I said, one day, I said, let me just call up here and just try to get through, right? I just said, I'm going to wing it. I called receptionist, answered the phone, and I said, yo, where Bob at? Like, I already knew him. She was like, excuse me? I was like, where's Bob? Never mind. Look, just tell Bob to call Donnell. Right? She was like, hold on, wait a minute. She put the call through to Bob because she thought I was acting like she should have known me. She put the call through. Bob Sumner, Rush Communication, how can I help you? I was like, my name is Donnell Rawlings. Your receptionist, she didn't know me. I've worked with some of the people on your roster. I'm a funny guy. I just want an opportunity to come up to show you what I could do. He was like, I guess it was something that he appreciated about me tricking the receptionist. And he was like, can you come up Thursday? I was like, I got to see if I can get off work. He said, nigga, you got a job? You ain't ready for this business, right?
Where were you working?
I was working at Safeway. I was working at a grocery store.
Okay.
And I was a security guard in a grocery store. Please, no more jokes. Deion Cole did enough of them. But I was head of security at a grocery store waiting to be a DC police officer because I was a military police officer in the Air Force. Your reaction was a reaction anytime I tell people that, like, nigga, really?
Yeah. My next question, was you loss prevention or security?
The fact that you're the first person that ever broke down the two.
Yes.
I'm just
like most
he
people
did just
like,
top flight security of the world, Craig.
That could have been either one.
Because I'm trying to picture
No,
it.
you know that's disrespect. Basically what you're saying is one of them works in a retail store.
Yes.
One of them is in an over capacity and one is a covert capacity.
Yeah.
Loss prevention would be more of undercover. So I understand that. Security, that's the rent-a-cop with the outfit, whatever.
Right.
So to answer your question, I was both.
Okay.
All right. When I wanted to go deep undercover, I put my hoodie and my jeans on. When I wanted people to know that I was a colonel walking down these aisles, and I had my uniform on.
Yeah.
But I worked both of them. But that was like I know people say, how did you get in that? But being a military police officer, you know, in the military, whatever you train for, that's what you normally do when you get out. You know, so that was the only thing that was close to me as far as what I'm going to do as a job. So I was waiting to be a DC police officer. And in that time frame, I got connected or introduced to stand-up. And I remember the first time I ever touched the mic, I was like, this is all I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I was like, but I had to figure out how to get fired from my job because I wasn't making enough money just to quit.
You needed that
unemployment.
Yeah, you know, black folks and white folks, totally different trajectory.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
A white person, they want to deal with their pride.
Yes.
You can't fire me.
Yes.
God damn it, I quit.
Yeah, black people
Brother,
be like,
you got to fire me.
Finally.
And I took that 6 months. I took that 6 months of unemployment. Went up to New York, lived on my friend Royale's couch for a while, and then I never looked back.
But you know, going back to what you said, like showing your age, right? But what that does tell us is
you going back to show your age.
But you sustain. You're still here,
something told me to bring some Beijing. I was looking at it. I was like, what is it? What should I do? But no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you know that's the thing, man. You still here 30 plus years later.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a testament of your talent
and have evolved with the times of social media.
I say that all the time for the YNs out here and everybody. Like, it's different ways to have platforms. Now, when I first started, you only had like the three networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC. And if you weren't being showcased on those platforms, which there wasn't a lot of opportunity,
right?
You was doing like the chitlin circuit.
Yeah.
You know, but nowadays, and like the youngers always talk about, you know, what they're doing and everything. But now, if you have the work ethics, you can create your own opportunities now. Back then, it didn't matter how hard you worked. It just wasn't those outlets for people to see. But you see what you could do. So,
which that leads me to a question I want to ask you. Being that you're a veteran, you know, comedian before social media, because I'm assuming you're a real comedian, like you. Not, and I don't want to say real, but you study the art of comedy, right?
I'm a real comedian, right? But
so,
I do study
but I don't want to say that to slight anyone else, right? Because
you kind of slight the cornballs.
But this is the thing. Do you think?
No, we're gonna slight some cornballs.
No. Do you think that social media?
Come on, don't say no. It's some cornballs out here.
I mean, it's cornballs.
Not all of them, but it is.
It's cornballs in every lane, right? But I'm saying, do you think that social media, you know, now you can be a social media comic where you don't have to put in the footwork and that you did, right? Because now you get the instant response. Y'all had to. So do you think that the social media comics cheapen the craft of comedy?
I don't think that they cheapen. I just think that that's the only thing they know. You know, and it's interesting because it's hard. Like when I first started, when I was young, it was a couple of things you wanted out of entertainment and this business, and one of them money, and one of them was women. And the only way you got either one of those is you had to be good first. But nowadays, the younger generation and these guys like social media, I'm not knocking any of them, that they getting all the money and all these accolades really quick. So they don't have any incentive to be good. You know, it's hard to tell a guy, if you want to say social media comedian that's got 5 million followers just making, you know, 6 figures a month to be better, because he's like, for what? I already got that. So,
no, facts.
But then you have some guys that like connect with both sides of it. You know what I mean? I am taking advantage of this platform. I know I can blow myself up. I know I have to work ethics, but at the same time, I do want to respect the craft of stand-up. But comedian has turned into so much of a different thing from when I first started. And I give you an example. Some years ago, I was in Baltimore and I was in my green room, and there was a young lady that my uncle knew or whatever. And she was like, I'm a comedian. I do comedy. You want to check out some of my stuff? I said, let me see some of your stuff. And she pulled up a YouTube. She said, I do skits or whatever. I was like, that's not a comedian. She was like, yes, it is. I'm like, that's not a comedian. She said, yes, it is. So she pulled up like the Webster's Dictionary definition of it is one who entertains the audience through humor. So her definition of what a comedian is now is different from when I started. And when you heard the word comedian, when I started, it only was associated with being a stand-up comedian. Right. Not the sketch, not this content creator. It was just all about stand-up. But also know everything evolves. I've been doing it for a very long time. And I'm not one of those guys that are bitter
Right.
about the success of other people. If anything, I want to learn. If you got not a shortcut, but if you have an avenue or a skill set that you can help me, expand my brand or I'd rather connect with you and build with you than just be that angry old dude like, yeah, when I was coming up. It doesn't matter when you was coming up. What is now?
Question.
You got to be able to embrace it.
Not only amongst the Trump administration now, but just in general, as the culture has shifted, do you think that it is harder for comedians to be comedians now because of the heightened sensitivities of the general population?
I think it's harder for whack comedians to be comedians now. But people that are true to themselves, if you notice, like the people that were counseling and everything, a lot of people that was counseled or was having issues that were people that weren't really true to themselves, And a lot of those people that got counseled or had issues with people that relied on corporate America, relied on the network stuff. But when you're self-made, and you, especially from the stand-up scene, if you're self-made and you've been working like me, I've been working comedy clubs for over 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can really counsel you.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if you have a platform to work with Disney or ABC, then that's one thing.
Right.
But your hardcore fans, they'll always be there to support you. But I never. That was a question I get a lot. I'm like, I never dealt with that because one of the things they want to do when they counsel you, they want to stop your money. They say they want apologies. They don't want apologies. They just want to stop your money. But if they can't stop your money, that's why they become powerless. That's why, my good friend Dave Chappelle, he was able to stand up to a certain community, not bash them or anything, but to say, listen, man, I understand your feelings, I understand your thoughts, but I don't have to feel and think the same way you do. Yeah. And on top of that, can nobody fire me?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Dave Chappelle, he's kind of one of those people that they say is like Superman. He can't be canceled, Right. Do you think that's because business-wise, he's pretty much kind of bossed up and he's not attached to entities that can, play puppet master with him? That's
100% the reason why. It's interesting because we are close friends. And I remember it was during the pandemic when I remember we were together one day. He got a call and he was like, I wasn't privy to hear what he was talking about. But when he got the phone, he said, if they don't give it to me, I'm going to take it. And I didn't understand what he was saying then, right? And then cut to, he made an announcement on the social media platform, which he hardly ever uses. And he was talking about the relationship he had with Comedy Central and Netflix. And he basically told the world and everybody, don't watch this if they don't pay me my money.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The first call I overheard at the end of that was like, if they don't give it to you, I'm going to take it. I didn't know what that meant. And then after that announcement, maybe 2 days later, I just happened to be with him again. And I heard him say, got him. Right? And I was like, and this is something that hardly ever happens in this industry. And my hat goes off to Comedy Central or whoever was in a position to say, you know what? The first contract we gave Dave, it was unfair. Not too often you're going to hear an agency or a company go back and tear it up and say, you know what? This is the value you added to us. This is the money we made. And with that said, you know what? We did wrong, but let's make it right. That's like unprecedented.
You know what? I have a question, and this is kind of coming off my personal experience too. You being so close to Dave Chappelle, who's an icon, a superstar. Pause on the so close?
Yeah, I just feel like in every interview I got to use at least 3 pauses and 2 no homos.
But so close.
I know, but I just, even if it's not even in the context,
I'm going to give you something. Like, we got another couple minutes. I'll give you something good to pause. Okay. Right. So being that you're close friends with him and he's such a mega star, and I know this hurdle a little bit being that Master P is one of my close friends. How do you navigate not getting lost in his shadow and still kind of
continue to do what I do? And it's so funny because I've said this before, and I mentor people, whatever. I talk to people, and I always say you can't be caught up in somebody's dream so much that you forget your realities. And it's so easy to get caught up in Dave's world. It's so easy to jump on a jet with him. It's so easy to go do venues 10 and 11,000. But what I also know is that eventually, I know the trajectory I'm on, all of those things, even if I can't get to them, I know I have the skill set to get close to it. And I just know that I'm nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell you, this is the thing that has been following me since I done this Chappelle Show. And this with the punks and the fucking haters and the people don't want to put the work in. I hear this all the time. If it wasn't for, you know, if it wasn't for,
I hate that.
Guess what? This is what this business is about. It's going to be somebody is going to help you.
Yeah.
It's going to be somebody.
Yep.
It just so happened that this show was so huge. If I gonna say that, okay, if it wasn't for Pete Docter putting me on Soul, if it wasn't for David Simon putting me on HBO's The Wire in the Corner, if it wasn't for Tasha Smith putting the word in with 50 Cent and them for me be on BMF, if it wasn't for Lena Waite saying I love him, I want him to be on 20, it's always gonna be somebody.
But then if we don't help each other, we drag each other.
Let me say that to you.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be that person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It just so happened that everybody does not know how to use relationships to build themselves.
Bingo.
And to answer that question too, as much as people want to say if it wasn't for, you know, people choose you for a reason.
Exactly.
Not just because of friendship. It's your fucking skill set.
You still got to do the fucking work.
Why
you still
was
gotta do the
I
work.
on that show?
Yes.
Because I'm nice. Why was I on HBO's The Wire? Because I'm nice. Why was I on The Corner? It's because I'm nice. Stop with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's path is different, but your definition of coming out the mud is different from mine. I am so sorry that I know you know what you got to apologize? I got to apologize for somebody, the status is Dave, that says, you know what? I'm nice, but guess what?
Yeah.
This nigga nice too.
My nigga nice,
And any of those things that I mentioned, this is what they do. They don't make you. They not in the acting class with you. They not studying jokes. What they do is what Dave has done for me and what David Simon did for me and what all these people did for me, they gave me a platform for people to see what was there.
Yep.
And I challenge, it's a lot of people that's before me, after me, that people like, why is this person so ahead of you? I never question what my time is. Only God can tell you when it's going to be time. I said, here's the thing. And I always feel like this to this day. Some of these people might have surpassed me in certain levels, but I'll tell you what, if I get the same platform as they have, then you're going to see I'm nice.
Yeah.
Put me in the game, coach.
Yeah.
You
already been in the game.
I've been in the game, but the only reason, even on Chappelle Show, that people think that, that show was like, you audition for it, you're a cast, they got to find writing. It wasn't that. It was you, Neil Brennan, me particularly, Dave Chappelle. Neil Brennan's Dave Chappelle's good friend, writing part of everything. He took a liking to me over things he saw me over the year. He's the one that said, I want to give Donnell a shot on this because I had did him a favor on something else. And the only reason why I continued to be on that show, it was because every time they said action, I brought action. Every time. There's a lot of people that was part of that show, but when that camera hit them, they didn't make it pop like I did.
Yeah.
I forced them to be curious to like, what if we do this?
Yeah.
What if we do that? And also another thing people know about this show, if you look at the script, if you would look at the script, you would be like, where did this motherfucker come from?
Right.
Because a lot of times when I wasn't working, I didn't have no money back then. So I was like, oh man, I can eat for free all day.
Yeah.
I could hang around. They'll see me like, you want to jump in? So I gave myself an opportunity to continue to be a part of that show. And another thing I did with that show, I never bitched about how many lines or what they gave me. If they told me, you got one word in this scene, I would figure out 80 ways to say that one word.
Because see, there's no such thing as small words or small actors.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then it's like, for me, even when I first started acting, I've never been trained or anything. I always just wanted to be around it. And even I probably was one of the happiest background extras you ever saw in your life. Because I already knew, I'm like, just let me get in this scene. They're going to notice. When I was doing Chappelle Show, man, I used to steal so much shit I wasn't supposed to do. It was just one scene in particular. We were doing the Mad Real World, right? And it was a chaotic scene where my character was phase 2 or phase 3, whatever he was. I'm over in the corner smoking a joint. That was my shot, right? Now they go to the next shot. It's a big fight. Then when I looked at what was going on, I'm like, I was sitting over here. The fight started over there, right? Ain't no direction in this fight. Niggas just going for it. I was like, let me get up off this couch and go get in the fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you go look at that, I saw where that fucking camera was, right?
Yeah.
I'm over here. I ain't even supposed to be in it. I jumped up. I turned. Look, I did like this. I turned to the camera like this. I went that way. I was like, got him.
Yeah.
I was in another scene. I did that, yo. It was so many times where I just said, yo, just go for it. And the worst thing gonna happen is they're gonna tell you no and just chill the fuck out.
If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, go download the OG Network on Roku, Google Play, Fire TV, Apple TV, and the App Store. Go register your email at theognetwork.net. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Salute.